Hey everybody, it's me, Rebecca, and I am the Bexa Boss Lady. I am here today to kick off March with my first endometriosis awareness video, and I thought a great place to start would be my initial diagnosis, how I was originally diagnosed, and maybe some tips for you on what to ask or how to talk to your doctor about endometriosis. So that is what this video is about. Today is crazy. I don't know if you can hear the wind in the background, but I'm having to sit in this chair with, I don't know, my regular setup because I have no power, and I've had no power for 12 hours now. So hopefully this lighting works and this video is okay. I just wanted to get it out there since it is the beginning of March already. Here we go. The very first thing I want to tell you is I was diagnosed with endometriosis pretty quickly, about 8 years ago. And so for me, I'm a rare case in the sense that I was diagnosed quickly. Most people, it takes many, many, many years of constant doctor's appointments, very difficult periods, very difficult, monthly struggles, headaches, cramping, bloated, you name it, lots of problems, and several years to eventually get diagnosed. I was diagnosed very quickly. However, I feel that I was misinformed after my surgery. I don't think that I really truly knew this was a lifelong disease. I thought that it was taken care of after this surgery and I wouldn't have to worry about it again. But it all started, like I said, about 8 years ago, and I kept feeling like I was having urinary tract infections. I went to the doctor and he would say, "No, you don't have one." And I say, "Well, I'm having these problems." And he would say, "Well, you don't have a UTI." So after a few months of going back constantly feeling that I have a UTI, he finally suggested that we go in and look for endometriosis. I had no idea what it was. I had never heard of it before. I didn't run in my family to my knowledge, so I really wasn't aware or wasn't knowledgeable about anything when it came to this disease. So we went and I had a scope surgery. They went in through my belly button. They took a little robot thing or something, stuck it in there, and sure enough, I had stage 3 endometriosis. A lot of the lesions were on my bladder and around my bladder, which was causing the UTI sensations and the problems on that front. So he removed them, I was told, and I went on with my life thinking that I had had this surgery and it was taken care of and I would never have to worry about it again. Boy, was I wrong. About a year later, I had a miscarriage. After we tried to get pregnant, I had problems ovulating again. I just had constant problems after my miscarriage. I had to have a DNC. It was a very traumatic experience for me, and I couldn't get pregnant again. I was having, issues with my periods, with ovulation. Then I couldn't go back on birth control because it was triggering very horrific migraines. And so I kind of was in this quandary of what do I do? I continued to have these horrible menstrual cycles, and basically I was just given some hardcore ibuprofen and told to rest for those days. Well, I mean, you can't rest 3 days a month, especially if you have a full-time job, so I would try to power through it. Eventually, it just burned me out, and I ended up getting very sick. Ultimately, what ended up happening is I almost lost my kidney. Through a different finding, which I'll do another video about that. But ultimately, I ended up finally seeing a specialist after going to about 20 doctors and getting some actual answers from someone who knew what they were talking about. No gynecologist that I have ever been to, except the first one, had any information about endometriosis. They all wanted to immediately put me on Lupron or open me up. I mean, it was or they wanted to make me, they didn't want to make me, I shouldn't say that. They made me feel like I was crazy and I should just suck it up and deal with the pain or the periods or whatever the case may be. And so, or they attributed my symptoms to my other autoimmune diseases. So when I was having, when I was feeling really bloated, when my stomach really hurt, they continued to send me to a gastrointestinal doctor. When I was having like weight gain, they sent me to the endocrinologist. So I was getting all of these referrals to other doctors, and really the root of the problem was endometriosis the whole time for a lot of these things. So I asked every single doctor I went to, could this be endometriosis? Guess what? Nope, couldn't be, impossible. That doesn't do that. That's not how it works, etc., etc. So when I finally found a specialist that would take my case and I could meet with, I felt such an immense relief. And I'll go into that more in some of my future videos, but I just wanted to say that you can get answers. You just have to be more diligent. You have to be okay with not being okay with these doctors' answers, because they don't have extensive training in endometriosis unless they're a specialist. And so it's difficult to get the proper answers that you need for your health. And I have found that doing a lot of research on the internet, okay, it's not always good to do your research on the internet because you definitely end up a little bit paranoid. You kind of feel like you're going to die. And sometimes I think in your brain it makes it a little bit worse. So if I'm the first or the last or the middle of the videos you're watching, just know that everybody's situation is different with this disease. All these doctors have different thoughts and beliefs. So I've met people who have done Lupron and it has worked amazing for them. I've met people who have done it and it was a terrible experience. So it can go both ways. But I just want you to know that I have been on this journey for 8 years. This journey is too important to me to not follow through with, because my health is too important to me. My life is too important to me. And life is too short to be miserable every single day when you know there's probably some kind of solution or some kind of help that you can get for what's going on in your body. So don't ever give up. Don't ever give up on your fight for yourself, for your health, for your disease, for your family. Don't ever give up, because there ends up being a time where you will finally find someone that will understand what you're going through. I mean, for crying out loud, I was misdiagnosed with celiac disease for 3 years before I actually figured out that my bowel problems were being caused by endometriosis. So you have to go through all of this stuff, unfortunately, because it's a very difficult disease to treat. So don't give up. If you are struggling with this, you're struggling with getting help, know that there are millions of women out there that are in your same shoes. They're looking for answers, and try to get as much information as you can before you go into these doctor's appointments. Ask these doctors, what experience do you have with endometriosis? I would call the practice beforehand and ask them. I will do due diligence now from now on when I'm trying to find a doctor, because I think it's worth my time to invest up front to try to figure it out instead of getting there, doing the initial appointment, filling out the paperwork, paying the copay, all that stuff, just to get in there and have them tell me the same thing someone else told me 6 months ago. So I was diagnosed quickly. However, I think I was misinformed, or I wasn't educated enough on the disease to know that this is a lifetime disease. It will never go away. There will always be some kind of little issues that pop up because of it. And I just know now I'm way more educated in my body and what's happening and understanding what symptoms are related to that. So in the future, if I start having problems again, I know, okay, this is endometriosis, and I am going to go to the right doctor and get the right treatment for this. There are endometriosis specialists all across the country. Some of them are in network, some of them are out of network. It's up to you with your insurance. You got to figure that out. But that is why I try to share all of my side hustles, how I'm making extra money, how I paid for my out-of-pocket medical bills last year. And I try to be as transparent as possible with that to help you find something that will work for you if you need that help. So if you need help affording medical care, if you need help finding a specialist, hopefully my channel can help you with both of those things and eliminate a lot of the stuff that I went through, because I can help you cut that journey a little bit shorter. It's not going to be short. It's not going to go away, but maybe I can make it easier. Maybe I can help you with some answers or questions or something when you go to the doctor or finding a new doctor. And so that's the purpose of my awareness videos for endometriosis in March, is to share my journey, hopefully give you some tips or ideas for how to get treatment yourself, and give you hope and inspiration to know not to give up. Don't give up. Don't give up on yourself or this disease. I can't even tell you how many times I cried in doctors' parking lots because I wasn't getting answers, or, I left there with just completely deflated, thinking I was going to finally find a solution to what was happening to me, and I didn't. It has happened. You're not alone. And I guess, what is it Dory always says? Just keep swimming. You almost have to just keep swimming, because you will eventually get there, I promise. So I'm hoping that my videos help you, and there is no quick fix, there is no magic cure, but if I can give you a little bit of insight into your own journey and helping you along the way, it makes all of these videos worth it. So I wish you the best March ever, all of the time. I wish you the best all of the time ever. But I hope that March brings you some awareness and maybe some peace or some inspiration to, continue on your own journey. And I thank you so much for watching my videos. As always, I appreciate it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.